Hey guys, Legendary Grimlock here, and Merry Christmas still. Hope you guys are having a wonderful time with your family and staying safe if you're in those snowstorm areas. And I hope those presents are banging, okay? Let's begin here with this fight and pretty much explaining the rules here. I won't be using the complete Regenesis Shockwave as that would be overkill for this matchup. I will be using the pre-Regenesis phase, basically Shockwave that went around the universe collecting all the concepts and making them into his new body, versus a Pimtron or Hank Pym Ultron, as that is one of his current and strongest bodies, as he's finally able to wield the Soul Stone without any repercussions. But we won't be giving him the Soul Stone as it's not standard equipment for him. So, yeah. So, how strong are these characters? Well, simply put it, Shockwave is out of our soul. This Shockwave went around in conceptual universes and tanking some of them as well, as there was a universe known for nothing but destruction. There was just this universe was basically destruction itself, and Shockwave was able to just walk through that concept, collect his piece, and move on to the next universe. Shockwave was also like physically strong enough and durable enough to take on the prehistoric version of the Dinobots. Now you might say, oh, they're weakened because of the Earth's energons levels restraining them because they're so high. Yes, but again, they are still powerful creatures. And we could scale Shockwave in that phase to Grimlock from the Alternity run. However, before we get into that, we'll just also go over the sheer fact that Shockwave was able to kill the multiversal singularity himself, Onyx Prime, in his avatar state. Keep in mind that the primes themselves and the members of the Guiding Hand and Primus are and use things like platonic, I almost said platonic, platonic concepts to make their avatars, which are outerversal, kind of just automatically outerversal because they transcend dimensions by their nature by himself. Shockwave has also been able to go toe to toe with what's it called? Optimus Prime, what was it? Heart of Steel Optimus Prime here. This Optimus has been able to beat Elder Gods twice here. Keep in mind that these are Lovecraftian and Elder Gods, as if you guys read the Infestation run, not the Transformers one by itself, the very first Infestation 2 run, where it's pretty much confirmed that these are Lovecraftian and Elder Gods. They're H.P. Lovecraft's handiwork, his stories, right? But he was poisoned, killed, and then with his blood and body, these elder gods were finally able to be free and wreak havoc across the greater multiverse, the Transformers omniverse, if you will. And Optimus Prime was able to beat these elder gods twice. It most likely was a different one than the first one he beat here. But again, these elder gods were confirmed to be a threat to the entirety of these dimensions here. Keep in mind the Transformers Omniverse consists of cosmologies, obviously Lovecraftian or Cthulhu mythos, right? But again, they're not threatening their own cosmology. I mean, they're going around the other ones. They're able to threaten things like 30 Days vampires, they're able to also threaten Dungeons and Dragons, which if you watch my Grimlock vs. Hyperion video, they easily get to Outerversal pretty easily. Like, they just get, like, all the way out there. Infinite dimensions, infinite planes, abyssal, symbiotic relationships with these abysses and stuff. It's absolutely crazy how strong these characters are. Then you also have Grimlock with his Alternity run. Grimlock being able to go onto a 10 plus dimensional plane and fight beings that have a multi-dimensional property with the Dinobots and Maximals, and they would all scale to this. Even if you want to say, yeah, they're weaker than when they were in that one, I still think they would scale to it, as this is them kind of just going up there with their standard metallic bodies. Plus, when they got their metallic body, Shockwave was still able to overpower them to a degree. He struggled, but he did overpower them. Now, what are these universes that Shockwave was able to go into and straight up interact with? But this also gives Shockwave a lot more higher scaling because he's able to interact with concepts. He's able to interact with them and just take them and even create things out of them, like his Regenesis body, which was able to not only channel the power of two universes for a bit here, but was threatening to collapse the past, present, and future. I know we're saying we would have used that, but again, it does show you how powerful that body is here. I'm not using it, I'm just kind of, you know, giving you guys I guess you say a synopsis or an analysis on how powerful that body is by itself here, or how powerful Shockwave is to go into these universes and even take things like concepts and even create them. Keep in mind, Shockwave was also responsible for creating Megatron's Or 13 body, which is the concept of entropy. Entropy in the Transformers verse was actually a threat to the Microverse, which was capable of destroying it was capable of destroying the Microverse, which is a miniature universe, which is infinite in size. I think I've said this to you guys a bunch of times. It's infinite in size with infinite realities attached to it. One thought creates a whole nother branch timeline connected to the main universe. But again, they're viewed as individual universes. But with each universal stream, it's an individual continuity. Shockwave should also be able to destroy these other continuities that are weaker than him, such as the Malgus continuity, which has things like Ben 10's cosmology in it, so Shockwave should be able to destroy that. He's also able to use these concepts in different ways, able to destroy beings like they're nothing. He's able to manipulate time to a certain degree. He's even able to use it to regenerate attacks from his body, even from characters like Soundwave, who were able to harm Galvatron, couldn't even put a permanent dent into him. And Shockwave was not only casually killing, but he was able to use the concept of resurrection to resurrect Ravage and a couple other of Soundwave's minicons or cassettes here to basically let them live and to see what he was going to do in the full Regenesis run. So yeah, that's Shockwave for you. Absolutely just monstrously dangerous here. But let's go over Ultron, or Ultron Pym. This is the latest version of Ultron to date right now. This Ultron is a combination of Hank Pym and Ultron. When Ultron and Hank Pym accidentally fuse to get to, I guess you could say, where they're at now. This Ultron is easily in the universal categories because this body of Ultron should scale above a lot of the other ones. This Ultron still remembers his Age of Ultron, time here, where he first defeated the Avengers and stuff. This Ultron was also able to take out Thor, Vision, and Rogue. Rogue currently is on the same levels as characters as pre-current Thor, pre-current worthy Thor, I should say, honestly. She's on those levels. Or at least the past version of Thor, without the unworthiness and stuff like that. Keep in mind that this version of Rogue, or at least Rogue at this time period, had Wonder Man's strength permanently. And she was at the peak of Wonder Man's power, where Wonder Man had to use his his ionic energy to get to where he was there. Sorry, I had a tongue twister. He had to use his ionic energy to get to the levels of being able to even one-shot Thor, while Rogue is automatically on those levels because she absorbed him in entirely. Yes, he comes back, but Rogue never lost those powers and abilities, so she still retained them. Keep in mind, Wonder Man has been confirmed to be on the same levels as Thor on multiple occasions. There's too many quotes to even count here. And even characters like Vision have been able to manhandle a Jane Foster Thor, who is confirmed to be superior to the real Thor, has done things like battling against the Phoenix, being able to crack Mangog's tooth and maul him. And keep in mind, the regular Thor is able to transcend dimensions and should be stronger, if not probably still holding back that power from when he was a kid. You see, Thor as a baby was just so monstrously powerful that he shook the world tree. And again, it is very certain that Thor does try against Ultron, but we don't know to that extent here. But Thor shaking the world tree as an infant, which is a infinite multiverse, or even you could probably say a miniature multiverse that still contains infinite realities. And again, Yggdrasil isn't just 9 realms, it's multiple realms. It's kind of really simple here. But this Ultron also comes with other powers and other abilities here, such as, energy blasts that were able to one-shot Iron Man and Thor, being able to actually infect people as well. You see, the Ultron, thanks to Hank Pym, now understands organic biology a lot better. And this makes him 10 times more dangerous. You see, he's able to infect these... Sorry, he has these probes which are able to infect beings as powerful as the Scarlet Witch and Jane Foster Thor. Keep in mind, Jane Foster has Asgardian biology where infection should not work. So biology, even of an Asgardian or even a human being with Asgardian biology, just doesn't bother. It doesn't bother these probes here. He's able to infect everything, but it seems like he has a hard time infecting beings like Vision. But at the end of the day here, this Ultron is ridiculously powerful. He's able to fight against Sorcerer Supremes, able to fight against characters like Brother Voodoo, so on and so forth. With Brother Voodoo being someone that uses spells to, you know, that Doctor Strange won't even dare use. He'll compromise his soul and be like, okay, that demon still ain't gonna have it. What y'all want me to do? What, y'all think the demon gonna have it? Nah. And keep in mind as well, Brother Voodoo has also been able to defeat characters like Nightmare in his own realm. Keep in mind, the dream realm, or the dream world, if you will, is an infinite space containing all the imaginations of just regular humans and other superpowered beings that are able to dream. So yeah, Ultron Pym is absolutely ridiculously powerful, easily universal if you want to get it there. So without further ado, let's honestly begin here. Who wins this matchup more often than not here? Now, this is very interesting, as each of these characters is pretty much in the same tier, universal. But if I gave Shockwave the full Regenesis program where he was able to have the power of the dead universe, was threatening to destroy the literal concepts of past, present, and future, it would absolutely be overkill. And then you have the Soul Stone, which is one of the Infinity Stones. And again, I think it's also one of the most powerful Infinity Stones as well, where Adam Warlock was able to convert pre-Silver Surfer Black Silver Surfer and even fight against Adam Warlock. Again, keep in mind that he's able to use the Soul Stone now because he has Hank Pym. He has human biology. He has human emotions now. Him and Hank basically fused. Kind of funny considering Hank is one of the worst beings in the Marvel Universe, right? Ironic, ain't it? But the thing about this is here, even if I don't give Shockwave the full Regenesis program, he still has the conceptual part of it. He still has these conceptual powers. He also has better regeneration qualities than Ultron. So while I think these two are equal, and I think in a blast battle, I think Ultron is probably going to be in for it here. Because again, he doesn't have a surefire way to permanently harm or injure Shockwave. Now, what if you say, oh, well, what if, Ultron used the Spores infection? That is a very good question. And again, it might work. It may actually work on Shockwave. But again, with Cybertronians, they're more so immune to corrupting influences, to the point where even sentient universes like the Void can't even control the likes of beings like Galvatron or Megatron. And they can simply fight these things despite the fact they have their own power. Shockwave being able to literally walk through things like destruction, these walking concepts and everything here. He's got more in his arsenal thanks to those concepts than Ultron does with his regular body. And again, I do think this is the most powerful version of 616 Ultron. More powerful than his previous bodies, which honestly got dog-walked by a lot of the heroes out there, and then usually gets beaten by, like, some time shenanigans or some weird plot hole. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous here. But Shockwave himself having these concepts, him also being able to fight against Thor and Hulk level beings like the Dinobots, Optimus Prime, Megatron, even being able to fight against an Optimus Prime that was able to defeat the Elder Gods twice. Again, I probably would more so award it to Shockwave as well, because he's able to even affect platonic concepts. But hey, that's going to be all for today, you guys. Please comment down below, like and subscribe and share with your friends. This is Legendary Grimlock, and I hope you guys have a blessed day.